Do you ever feel like no matter how hard you try, success keeps slipping away, like you're running in circles, distracted by everything around you, and never quite getting where you want to be? The truth is, success isn't about chasing the latest trend or pleasing everyone else. It starts with something much simpler: focusing on yourself. When you focus on your own goals, your own growth, and your own needs, you unlock a power few people ever find. This video is about how self-focus isn't selfish. It's the key to unlocking your real potential. We'll talk about practical steps to protect your time, control your emotions, build habits, and stay honest with yourself. If you're ready to stop wasting energy on distractions and start moving forward with real purpose, then this message is for you. Stay with me, and let's get you on the path to real success. Number 1, choose yourself first, before pleasing anyone around you. You know, success doesn't start with a job. It doesn't start with money. It doesn't even start with your dreams. It starts with you. Just you. The first decision you have to make is simple, but it's not easy. Choose yourself first, before pleasing anyone around you. Most people don't. They live their whole lives doing things to earn approval, to not upset anyone, to be accepted, to be liked, to be safe. And they never stop to ask one simple question: what do I really want? You see, people will pull you in every direction if you allow them to. Friends, family, society. They all have expectations. Some want you to take a safe path. Some want you to stay just where you are. Some want you to keep giving. And giving so they can keep taking. And it's not always out of malice. But if you live your life always trying to keep everyone happy, you'll lose yourself in the process. And once that happens, the game is already over. The most important person you'll ever have to lead is yourself. You can't take care of anyone else properly if you're not taking care of your own mind, your energy, your direction. But many people ignore themselves. They wake up already rushing, already running for everyone else. They say yes to plans they don't want. They agree to things that drain them. They ignore their own limits, and slowly, they build a life full of things they never wanted in the first place. That's a painful way to live. It's a quiet kind of suffering. And millions of people are in it right now. So why do people do it? Because it feels easier in the short term. It feels safer. There's less risk of being judged, less risk of conflict. But it's a trap. It's a comfort that steals your confidence. Every time you say yes to something that goes against what matters to you, you weaken your own identity. You blur your purpose, and you start to forget who you really are. You must choose yourself. That means taking yourself seriously. That means treating your time like it matters. That means setting limits, saying no when it's hard, walking away when something drains your spirit. You're not being selfish. You're being responsible. You're taking ownership of your life. And that's what success demands. You were not born to serve everyone's expectations. You were born to use your own mind, to build your own vision, to walk your own path. You can respect others and still put yourself first. That's not wrong. That's balance. That's how strength is built. And make no mistake, this world is built by people who chose themselves first. Choosing yourself means spending time alone and not feeling guilty about it. It means doing the work that lights something inside you. It means protecting your focus, even when others don't understand it. It means creating space to think clearly, to grow, to make mistakes and correct them, to set your own standards. You don't owe people a version of yourself that keeps them comfortable while you stay unfulfilled. Now I know what some of you are thinking, but I have responsibility. I can't just stop helping people. I can't be the center of everything. And you're right. Life is not just about you. But here's the truth. Most won't tell you. If you keep putting yourself last, you'll eventually have nothing left to give. Your kindness will turn into resentment. Your energy will run dry. And your potential will stay locked away inside you. That's not noble. That's not helpful. That's a quiet disaster. So start by drawing the line, not out of anger, not out of ego, out of clarity, out of purpose. Know what you need in order to be strong and healthy. Know how much time you need for your goals, your rest, your learning, and protect that space. You don't have to explain yourself to everybody. Just act. Show people what you value by how you live, not just what you say. Some people will push back. They'll say you've changed. They'll wonder why you're not always available anymore. That's okay. Not everyone will understand your growth. Some people are only comfortable with the older version of you, the one who didn't set boundaries, the one who always said yes. But growth requires law, and it's not your job to carry people who refuse to grow with you. You have to decide what kind of life you want to live. One where you're always chasing peace outside of yourself, or one where you build it from the inside and let it guide everything you do. You can't wait for people to give you permission. You won't always get support. Sometimes you have to choose yourself when no one else is clapping, and do it anyway, because you know what it leads to. When you choose yourself, everything changes. Your energy rises, your vision sharpens, your time becomes more valuable, your relationships become more honest. You stop playing roles and start being real. That's where success begins. That's where peace lives. That's where purpose shows up. It's not easy. It takes practice. You'll have moments where you doubt yourself, moments where you feel selfish, moments where you want to go back to people pleasing because it's familiar. But you can't build a strong life on weak foundations. And saying yes to everyone else while saying no to yourself, that's a weak foundation. So take the pressure off. You don't have to prove anything to anyone. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be honest with yourself. What do you want? What do you need? What makes you come alive? Ask those questions daily, and then have the courage to act on them. Even when it's uncomfortable, especially when it's uncomfortable. The world is loud. Opinions are everywhere, but none of it means more than your own voice. Learn to trust it. Learn to follow it. Because success, real, lasting success, isn't found in what others think of you. It's found in how well you know yourself and how deeply you honor that. You have one life, one shot. Don't waste it being half alive in a world that wants you to be everything but yourself. Take the power back. Own your time. Own your mind. Own your future. Choose yourself first. Everything else will follow. Number 2, remove distractions that pull your mind away daily. Every day your focus is under attack, and most people don't even notice it. Your mind is being pulled in 10 different directions before you even finish breakfast. And here's the truth. If you can't protect your attention, you'll never have control over your life. The ability to focus is not just a skill, it's a requirement. If you want to achieve something meaningful, if you want to build something real, you must learn to remove distractions that pull your mind away daily. Distractions don't just waste your time, they steal your drive. They take your energy away from what actually matters and spread it across things that leave you feeling empty. And the scariest part is how normal it all feels. We've gotten used to the noise. We scroll, click, swipe, check reply, and we think it's harmless. But every single time you give in to a distraction, you're teaching your brain to avoid focus. And if you do it enough, you lose the ability to stay locked in on anything for more than a few minutes. That's a dangerous place to be. If you want to grow, if you want to build discipline, if you want real results, then you need to take your attention seriously. And that starts by cutting out the small things that interrupt you constantly. The notifications, the endless tabs, the messages that don't matter, the background noise that's always playing. None of these things add value to your life, but they rob you of your sharpness. They dull your thinking. They weaken your ability to stay grounded in the present. And over time, you stop creating. You stop building. You stop progressing. Because your brain is constantly stuck in a loop of reacting instead of acting. Most people say they don't have enough time, but that's not the real problem. The problem is that they lose their best hours to distractions. They give their most focused moments to things that don't deserve them. You can't do your best work when your mind is divided. You can't grow when your energy is being chopped up into pieces all day long. You must take that back, and it starts by creating structure. Not rigid, exhausting routines, but clear, simple boundaries that protect your focus. Start by asking yourself this: what pulls you away the most? What apps? What people? What habits? Be honest. Don't judge yourself, but don't ignore it either. You can't fix what you won't face. You need awareness before you can have control. Once you know where your attention goes, you can start deciding where it should go. Make it harder to get distracted. Put your phone in another room when you're working. Turn off the alerts that beg for your attention every few minutes. Check messages at certain times, not every time someone sends something. Your brain wasn't built to multitask like this all day. You're training it to stay scattered, and scattered minds don't succeed. Focused ones do. Understand this. Not all distractions come from the outside. Some come from within. Overthinking, doubt, worry, fear, regret. These are mental distractions. They can take up just as much space as a screen. And if you don't learn to deal with them, they'll interrupt your thinking all day long. You need mental clarity. You need a mind that's not busy trying to survive the chaos. You need space to think straight, and that comes from giving your brain breaks, getting enough sleep, breathing deeply, journaling, reflecting, even being silent for a few minutes a day. This is not luxury. This is survival in a world that's trying to keep you overwhelmed. Some people spend their lives reacting to everything around them. The moment they wake up, they reach for their phone. They check other people's lives before even checking in with their own. They rush into the day without intention. And then they wonder why they feel lost, tired, and behind. You must take the morning back. Before the world grabs your attention, give it to yourself. Spend time with your goals. Remind yourself what matters. Move with purpose. Set your direction before the day sets it for you. Removing distractions isn't just about getting more done. It's about becoming more present. Most people don't even remember what they did all day. It's a blur of inputs and interruptions. You need depth. You need space to dive into the work that moves you forward. You need time to read, to write, to learn, to focus deeply without checking something every 5 minutes. Because that's where real progress lives. Not in the shallow, fast-paced noise, but in the slow, quiet focus that builds something solid. You also need to stop letting people treat your time like it's free. Not every call is urgent. Not every message deserves a reply right now. Not every invitation is worth your presence. Be honest about what helps you grow and what just fills the space. Your time is your life. Spend it like it matters. And understand this. Distractions often feel good in the moment. That's what makes them so dangerous. They give you little bursts of pleasure, but they leave you with long stretches of regret. You feel like you've been busy, but nothing has moved. You feel tired, but you haven't created anything. That's the trap. And the only way out is to be intentional with your focus. Success is not about doing more, it's about doing what matters and cutting out what doesn't. It's about protecting your energy like it's gold. Because it is. You only get so much of it every day. Don't waste it on junk that doesn't push you forward. Be ruthless with distractions. You don't need to be available for everything. You don't need to know everything that's happening online. You need to be available for your goals, for your growth. That's what matters. You won't get this perfect. Some days you'll slip. That's okay. The key is to notice it and get back on track. This is a lifelong skill, one that builds with practice, one that will separate you from the crowd. Because most people never take their attention seriously. They live distracted and wonder why nothing feels right. Don't be most people. Be the one who takes control. Be the one who creates space to think clearly, move strongly, and live fully. This is your life. It deserves your full attention. So stop giving your best hours to meaningless noise. Take your focus back and watch how fast your life starts to change. Number 3, protect your time like your future depends on it. Every single minute you waste is a piece of your future being thrown away. Time is the one thing you never get back. And the truth is, most people treat it like it doesn't matter. If you really want to build something meaningful in your life, you have to protect your time like your future depends on it. Because it does. You can rebuild your health. You can rebuild your finances. But once time is gone, it's gone for good. Most people live their days reacting to everyone else's schedule. They answer calls they didn't plan for, go to events they don't care about, and say yes to things that serve no purpose. Then they look back wondering why they're always behind. It's not because they're lazy. It's because they never protected their time. Your calendar should not be open for the world to walk into whenever it pleases. If your time means nothing to you, it will mean even less to everyone else. Every hour of your day is a trade. You're either investing in your growth or you're spending it on something that takes you further from it. If you're not choosing how to use your time, someone else will. And usually they'll use it for their benefit, not yours. That's how people get stuck living lives they never wanted. They wake up one day and realize they've spent years building someone else's dream, solving problems that were never theirs to begin with. Time is not just about productivity. It's about direction. It's about living on purpose instead of just going through the motion. If you're not careful, your time will be eaten up by small things that seem urgent but are completely unimportant. That text, that comment, that errand, that endless scrolling, that quick conversation that turns into an hour. Before you know it, your day is gone and you've done nothing that really matters. You have to break that cycle. Start by knowing exactly what matters to you. Define it clearly. Be honest about what you want to achieve. Without that clarity, you'll fill your time with things that have nothing to do with your future. Once you know what matters, start protecting space for it. Block it off. Defend it. Treat it like an appointment with your own future. Because that's exactly what it is. You're either showing up for yourself or you're falling behind. There is no in between. You don't need a packed schedule to be successful. You need a focused one. Busy doesn't mean productive, and a full calendar doesn't mean a full life. In fact, most people are exhausted because they confuse being busy with being effective. They say yes to everything and then wonder why they have no energy left. You need to say no more often. Not out of arrogance, out of responsibility. You have a limited amount of time and energy each day. Use it wisely. People might not like it when you start protecting your time. That's okay. They're used to you being available. They're used to you always saying yes. But if saying yes to them means saying no to your future, then it's time to shift your priorities. You are not here to live everyone else's schedule. You're here to live your raw. And that means being strong enough to close the door when you need to. Not everything is urgent. Not everyone needs access to you all the time. Build systems that support your time. That means planning your days with intention. It means creating routines that reflect your values. It means scheduling rest before burnout forces you to. It means setting alarms not just to wake up, but to remind you when it's time to stop doing one thing and start doing something more important. These aren't just productivity hacks. These are tools that help you take back control of your life. You also need to track where your time goes. You'd be shocked how much of it disappears without you realizing it. A few minutes on your phone turns into an hour. A short conversation turns into an afternoon. But if aimless thinking turns into a whole day wasted. If you don't track it, you won't change it. Start small. Review your day. See what gave you energy. See what drained you. See what helped. See what didn't, and adjust. Every day is a chance to get better at managing your future. One of the most powerful things you can do is to create protected time blocks. Time that is non-negotiable. That's where your real work happens. That's where your ideas grow. That's where your habits get stronger. And that's where your self-respect. Because when you show up for your own time, you're sending a message to yourself that you matter, that your goals matter, that your future matters. Don't rely on motivation to protect your time. Motivation fades. Discipline is what you need. Discipline is showing up when you're tired. Discipline is sticking to your plan even when something more fun comes along. Discipline is treating your future like it's real, because it is. And every time you respect your time, you build that discipline. You won't get this perfect. That's fine. The goal isn't perfection. The goal is progress. You'll slip up. You'll get distracted. You'll say yes to something you didn't really want to. But don't stay there. Learn from it. Improve. Adjust. Refocus. Get back to protecting your time. This is a lifelong practice, one that will separate you from the crowd. You also have to stop feeling guilty for valuing your own time. You don't owe it to everyone. You don't have to explain why you need space to focus. You don't have to apologize for putting your priorities first. That's not rude. That's responsible. You were not born to spend every hour pleasing everyone else. You were born to use your time with purpose. Success demands your time, not your leftovers, not your tired minutes, your best hour. And if you keep giving those away to distractions, to interruptions, to things that don't matter, then you're choosing delay over growth, and delay becomes regret if you let it stretch too long. You have to see time as sacred. Every hour is a brick. Every decision is a vote for the life you're building or the one you're wasting. Protect it. Guard it. Don't give it away carelessly, because one day you're going to look back, and the only question that will matter is, did you use your time to build the life you truly want? Or did you let it slip through your hands while you were busy doing things that never mattered? You get to choose. Right now, you get to decide what matters. You get to decide who gets your time. You get to decide what deserves your focus. This isn't about being selfish. This is about being smart, being strong, being committed to something bigger than comfort. Your future is waiting, but it needs you to show up now. Not someday, not later, now. So protect your time. It's your most valuable asset. Guard it like your future depends on it, because it does. Number 4, say no to things that drain your inner energy. If you want to live a powerful and meaningful life, you must stop saying yes to what weakens you on the inside. One of the greatest decisions you will ever make is to say no to things that drain your inner energy. Because energy isn't just physical, it's mental, emotional, spiritual. And when your inner energy is low, your motivation drops, your mind becomes unclear, your confidence fades, and your purpose gets buried under pressure that doesn't even belong to you. You are not meant to carry everything. You are not meant to absorb every opinion, every demand, every expectation. But that's what happens when you keep agreeing to things that pull you away from your center. Every time you say yes to something that drains you, you say no to your own well-being. You give up your peace. You silence your intuition. You lose a little more of your fire. That quiet exhaustion you feel at the end of the day, that's not from doing too much. That's from doing too much of what doesn't align with who you are. We live in a world where being constantly available is seen as admirable, where being busy is worn like a badge of honor. But none of that means anything if you're tired on the inside, if your heart feels heavy, if you're showing up to life feeling half alive. That's not strength, that's slow destruction. You need energy to build your future. You need energy to stay sharp. You need energy to show up for yourself and for the people you love. And the more you waste it on things that drain you, the less you'll have left for the things that really matter. You have to protect your emotional energy like it's sacred, because it is. Your peace, your clarity, your strength, they all depend on it. You can't pour from an empty soul. You can't give your best when you're running on fumes. So start paying attention to what costs you more than it gives you. That conversation you always regret, that task that leads nowhere, that environment that always pulls you down, that relationship that only takes and never gives. Start naming those things. Be honest about them, because what you don't name, you can't change. And once you see them clearly, start saying no. Not because you're cold, not because you're selfish, but because you've finally decided that your energy matters, that your life is worth more than being drained to keep other people comfortable. Every no you say to something that drains you is a yes to your health, your focus, your goals, your growth. It's a yes to your future, and that's a yes worth protecting. It's not easy. Saying no comes with resistance. You'll feel guilt. You'll feel fear. You'll worry about what others will think. But you have to understand something. You are not responsible for managing other people's reaction. You are responsible for managing your energy. And the longer you avoid the word no, the longer you'll feel trapped in situations that steal your strength. Your future depends on the boundaries you're willing to set today. Start small. You don't have to say no to everything at once, but begin with one thing, that one situation you always dread, that one task that feels like a weight on your chest, that one person who drains your spirit. Every time you speak, set a line. Say no with firmness and peace. You don't owe anyone a long explanation. You owe yourself the truth. And the truth is, your life doesn't get better by doing more. It gets better by doing what nourishes you and walking away from what doesn't. Look at how you spend your week. How much of it fills you up? How much of it empties you out? If more of your time leaves you feeling tired, frustrated, disconnected, then it's time to make changes. Don't wait until burnout forces you to stop. Don't wait until your body breaks down or your mind gives out. You don't need a breakdown to justify protecting your energy. You need courage, you need clarity, and you need the willingness to disappoint people who have gotten used to your silence. You see, some people will take from you as long as you allow it. Not because they're evil, but because you've trained them that you'll always be available, that you'll always say yes, and as long as you keep playing that role, they'll keep pulling. The moment you break that pattern, the moment you say, this doesn't work for me anymore, you take your power back. That's when real self-respect begins. And the beauty of saying no is that it creates room for the yeses that actually matter. The yes to your vision, the yes to your health, the yes to your creativity, the yes to your inner peace, the yes to your deep rest, the yes to your deep rest, the yes to building something meaningful. Your energy is not unlimited. Treat it like the rare gift it is. You also have to understand what gives you energy. Not everything that's easy is good for you, and not everything that's hard is bad for you. Some things will challenge you, but fill you with life. Others will feel familiar, but leave you feeling empty. Learn the difference. Pay attention to how your body feels after certain situations. Are you lighter or heavier? Calmer or tense? Motivated or defeated? Your energy doesn't lie. Listen to it. One of the greatest signs of growth is when you no longer tolerate what you once accepted. When your standards rise, your decisions change. You no longer agree to show up for things that kill your enthusiasm. You no longer entertain people who gossip, complain, or bring negativity. You no longer feel the need to be polite at the expense of your soul. That's not rudeness. That's maturity. That's alignment. That's wisdom. The world will always ask more of you. There will always be more requests, more noise, more pressure. And if you don't set limits, the demands will never end. You are the gatekeeper of your energy. No one else is coming to do that job for you. And if you keep saying yes to everything, you'll keep giving away your power piece by piece until one day there's nothing left. So start practicing the pause. Before you agree to anything, pause. Ask yourself, does this support who I'm becoming? Does this strengthen me or weaken me? Does this align with the life I want to build? If not, say no with clarity and peace. You don't need permission. You don't need approval. You need courage, and that courage will free you. You deserve a life that feels full, not forced, aligned, not drained, energizing, not exhausting. That kind of life is built decision by decision, no by no, boundary by boundary. Every time you honor your energy, you strengthen your future. Every time you say no to what breaks you down, you say yes to what builds you up. Your inner world matters. Protect it like your joy depends on it, because it does. Say no to what doesn't serve your growth. Say no to what steals your strength. Say no to what pulls you out of alignment. And then watch how much stronger, clearer, and more alive you begin to feel. This is how you rise, one powerful no at a time. Number 5, control your emotions. Instead of reacting to everything, you will never take control of your life until you take control of your emotions. If every little thing pulls you off track, then you are not running your life. Your emotions are. To succeed, to grow, to build something lasting, you have to control your emotions instead of reacting to everything. This is not about being cold. It's not about suppressing how you feel. It's about gaining the kind of emotional strength that lets you stay grounded no matter what's happening around you. The truth is, life will test you. People will say things that push your buttons. You'll face stress, pressure, loss, frustration, uncertainty. But here's the difference between those who rise and those who fall. The ones who rise have learned to pause before they respond. They've trained themselves not to react out of anger, fear, or impulse. They've built the inner discipline to stop, breathe, think, and then choose their response. That's power. That's control. That's how you win. Most people don't realize how much damage they cause by reacting too quickly. A few careless words can destroy a relationship. One outburst can ruin years of trust. One emotional decision can cost you opportunities you've worked hard for. You can't afford to lose control every time something upsets you. Emotional maturity is not optional if you want to live a strong life. It's essential. Emotions are not the enemy. They are signals. They're trying to show you something, but they are not always right, and they are not meant to be your guide. If you follow them blindly, you'll live a life full of regret. You'll keep making choices based on how you feel in the moment, instead of what's actually best for you in the long run. And those moments of emotional reaction will slowly build a life that feels chaotic, unstable, and out of control. You need to slow down. Just because you feel something strongly doesn't mean it's true. Just because something upsets you doesn't mean it deserves your attention. You have to learn to sit with your emotions instead of becoming them. Feel anger, but don't act on it right away. Feel fear, but don't let it make your decisions. Feel sadness, but don't let it paralyze you. That space between what you feel and what you do, that's where your power is. Self-control doesn't mean ignoring your emotions. It means managing them. And that takes practice. That takes awareness. That takes self-respect. You need to check in with yourself often. What am I feeling right now? Where is it coming from? Is this real? Or is it just a reaction? The more honest you are with yourself, the more control you'll build. The most successful people in the world are not emotionless. They're emotionally intelligent. They know how to express themselves without losing control. They know how to listen even when they're frustrated. They know how to move forward even when their emotions try to hold them back. That's what separates them. Not talent, not luck, not perfect lives. Control, inner control. Some people say, I can't help it. That's just how I am. But that's a lie they've told themselves to avoid growth. You can change. You can get stronger. You can learn how to handle stress, pressure, anger, disappointment, all of it. But only if you decide to stop reacting and start taking responsibility for how you respond. Your emotions are powerful, but they are not in charge unless you hand them the keys. And too many people live with no filter between what they feel and what they do. That leads to chaos in relationships, in careers, in decision-making. You have to be better than that. You have to be wiser. You have to rise above the need to be right in the moment and think about what's right for your future. Start building your emotional strength by watching how you react to small things. Traffic, someone's tone, a delay, a mistake. These moments are training. You can either use them to build patience, or you can use them to justify staying the same. The choice is always yours. But the people who win in life are not the ones who let every small thing control them. They're the ones who learn how to stay calm when most would explode. You also need to surround yourself with people who are emotionally strong. People who don't escalate things for no reason. People who know how to talk things through instead of turning every disagreement into a war. If your environment is full of drama, chaos, and overreaction, you will absorb it, even if you think you won't. Protect your peace by choosing the company you keep wisely. And when you feel overwhelmed, don't push it down. Take a moment. Step back. Walk away if you need to. Write it out. Talk to someone who can help you process it. But don't let it run wild. Don't let your emotions take the driver's seat. You are stronger than that. You are smarter than that. And you deserve to live a life that's not controlled by your worst moments. There is strength in restraint. There is power in silence. There is wisdom in waiting. You don't need to react to every comment, every situation, every inconvenience. You don't need to prove yourself every time someone challenges you. Real power is not in showing how loud you can be. It's in knowing when to stay composed, when to walk away, when to speak with clarity instead of anger. When you learn to control your emotions, you gain back your time, your focus, your peace, your relationships. You stop wasting energy on things that don't matter. You start responding with purpose instead of reacting out of fear or ego. And slowly, your life becomes more stable, more intentional, more powerful. That's the reward. That's the result of emotional discipline. You won't master this overnight. You'll make mistakes. You'll react sometimes and wish you hadn't. That's okay. Learn from it. Apologize when needed. Reflect deeply. And keep building. Every moment is a chance to strengthen your ability to stay calm under pressure. Every challenge is an opportunity to show yourself who you're becoming. You can't control what happens around you, but you can control what happens within you. That's the skill that will change everything. Not just for your goals, but for your peace, your leadership, your influence. People respect those who stay composed in the storm. Be that person. Be the one who doesn't lose themselves every time something goes wrong. Success belongs to those who are consistent. And you can't be consistent if your emotions run the show. So take your power back. Stop reacting to everything. Pause. Reflect. Respond with clarity. Choose your next move with purpose. That's how leaders are made. That's how greatness is built. That's how you step into your best self. Control your emotions. Control your life. Your future is waiting. Respond wisely and take the lead. Number 6, build habits that help you grow every single day. If you want to change your life, you must change what you do every single day. One-time decisions don't shape your future. Your daily habits do. If you're not building habits that help you grow, then you're slowly moving backward, even if it feels like you're standing still. The key to real, lasting success is this. Build habits that help you grow every single day. Because growth doesn't happen by accident. It happens on purpose. You don't need big moves. You don't need a perfect plan. What you need is to show up every day and take one step in the right direction. Small, steady, and focused. Most people don't fail because they lack potential. They fail because they keep starting and stopping. They chase motivation instead of building consistency. They look for instant results and get discouraged when progress feels slow. But the truth is, success doesn't come from doing things once in a while. It comes from doing the right things daily, even when no one is watching, even when you're tired, even when it's boring. If you keep waiting to feel ready, you'll wait forever. Growth doesn't show up with fireworks. It shows up quietly. You wake up, you follow your routine, you do the hard thing, and you repeat that process day after day. That's what separates people who get better from those who stay stuck. It's not about talent. It's not about luck. It's about what you repeat. Start simple, one habit at a time. You don't need to overhaul your entire life overnight. You just need to identify the habits that support who you want to become. If you want to be stronger, create a habit of daily movement. If you want to be smarter, create a habit of reading. If you want to be more disciplined, create a habit of doing what you said you would do. No matter how small the task is, it's not the size of the habit that matters. It's the power of showing up every single day without breaking the chain. Consistency builds trust, not just with others, but with yourself. When you keep a promise to yourself, you build self-respect. You begin to believe in your ability to stay committed. And once you start to trust yourself, your mindset changes. You stop questioning your path. You stop relying on feelings. You start acting from principle. That's where real growth begins. Your habits are either building your future or they're breaking it down. There's no neutral. The way you spend your mornings, the way you handle stress, the way you fuel your body, the way you speak to yourself, these are all habits. And the longer you ignore them, the longer you delay your progress. Success is not hiding from you. It's built into the structure of your day. If your life feels chaotic, start with your routine. The way you begin and end your day matters more than you think. A strong morning habit sets the tone for how you show up. A solid evening habit helps you recover, reflect, and reset. You don't need 10 steps. You don't need perfection. You need clarity, structure, and repetition. You need to decide what matters and then make space for it. And the best part, you don't need to feel motivated to stick to a habit. You just need to commit to the process. Habits don't rely on excitement. They rely on repetition. The first few fees will be hard. The first few weeks will test your patience. But once your brain gets used to it, Once your identity starts to shift, it becomes easier. It becomes part of who you are. Not just what you do. That's the shift you want. You don't just want to try hard. You want to become the kind of person who does the right things automatically. You want to train your mind and body to work for you, not against you. You want your actions to reflect your goals without having to force yourself every single time. That's what habits do. They free you from the constant need to push. They carry you when motivation fades. And don't fall into the trap of perfection. You'll miss days. You'll make mistakes. You'll feel like giving up. That's normal. The goal is not to be perfect. The goal is to come back stronger. If you miss a day, don't miss two. If you mess up, fix it and move forward. Growth is messy, but if you stay in the game, the results will come. Not immediately, but eventually and consistently. You also have to remove the habits that hold you back. It's not just about adding good habits. It's about subtracting the bad ones. You know the ones. The late nights that leave you drained. The mindless scrolling that eats up hours. The constant distractions that keep you from your work. These patterns steal your potential. And if you don't break them, they'll quietly break you. Replace them with actions that give you life, that build momentum, that push you closer to who you want to be. Surround yourself with habits that remind you of your purpose. Keep your goals visible. Track your progress. Reward yourself for showing up. Talk to people who are building strong routine. You are not meant to figure it all out alone, but you do have to take responsibility. No one can build your habits for you. No one can put in the work you're avoiding. This is your job, your future, your responsibility. You have to want it badly enough to be consistent when it's not exciting. You have to care about your growth more than your comfort. You have to stop waiting for the perfect moment and start creating a structure that pulls you forward. Because the only way to grow every single day is to do something that matters every single day. It can be small, it can be simple, but it has to be deliberate. Look at the life you want. What habits support that life? What habits destroy it? Answer honestly. Then take action. Not tomorrow. Not when you feel like it. Now, the difference between people who succeed and people who struggle is that the ones who succeed don't let their feelings decide their future. They let their habits do that. So don't chase motivation. Build systems. Don't rely on hype. Build discipline. Don't wait for life to force you to change. Start shaping it yourself through what you do daily. Your habits are the invisible force driving your results. Every single day is a vote for the person you're becoming. Make it count. Make it powerful. Make it intentional. That's how you grow. That's how you build the life you deserve. One strong habit at a time. Number 7, focus on what you can fix right now. If you want to take back your life, stop worrying about what's out of reach and start focusing on what you can fix right now. That's where your strength is. That's where change begins. Because most people spend so much time thinking about things they can't control that they never take action on the things they can. They think too far ahead. They drown in fear and they stay stuck. But progress doesn't live in your fear. It lives in your actions. And your actions start right now. Not tomorrow. Not next year. Not when everything feels perfect. You have to stop waiting for the big breakthrough. The breakthrough happens when you stop ignoring the small things that need your attention. That messy desk. That conversation you've been avoiding. That decision you keep putting off. That habit you know you need to fix. It's not about doing everything at once. It's about doing something. Something real. Something small that you can do today. And when you do that, you create momentum. Momentum doesn't come from overthinking. It comes from movement. And you'll never feel in control of your life if you keep giving all your energy to problems you can't solve yet. You can't change your entire future today, but you can make one part of it better. You can clean your space. You can set a boundary. You can drink water. You can send that email. You can write that page. You can shut off distractions. You can get out of your head and get into motion. The most powerful people in the world aren't always the smartest. They're the ones who take action while others are still debating. They don't get lost in what ifs. They focus on what's in front of them. They know they can't change yesterday. They know they can't control every detail of tomorrow. But they own this moment. and they make the most of it. That's what builds confidence. Not wishing, not hoping, but doing. If you feel stuck, it's not because there's nothing you can do. It's because you're ignoring the things you can do. You're overwhelmed by the big picture. So you miss the small steps that are right in front of you. And here's the truth. You don't need to solve everything today. You just need to solve something. You need to make progress, not perfection. You gain power by taking control of your choices. What are you feeding your mind? Who are you spending time with? How are you starting your mornings? What are you doing when you feel overwhelmed? These are things you can shift. These are decisions you can make. And every small decision starts to shape your future. Whether you realize it or not, you don't need a map for the next 10 years. You need clarity about what you can fix today. What's one thing that's holding you back? One thing that's slowing your growth? One thing that's been nagging at you, but you keep pushing it aside? That's your starting point. Not a new project, not a huge plan, just that one thing. Because when you clean up what's broken in front of you, you make space for bigger things to work. And don't underestimate the power of that one change. A small shift in your behavior can unlock something much bigger inside you. When you finally take responsibility for what's in your hands, you stop living like a victim. You stop blaming your past. You stop waiting for someone to save you. You become the one who steps up and says, "This is my life, and I'm in charge of it." Every excuse is just a distraction from the truth that you already know what needs your attention. You already know what's not working. You don't need another book. You don't need another motivational speech. You need action. Clear, real, intentional action on the part of your life that needs fixing. And when you handle that, you'll feel stronger. You'll feel sharper. You'll start to believe in your ability to move forward. You can't control people. You can't control the past. You can't control how fast things grow. But you can control your effort. You can control your environment. You can control your response. You can control what you do with this hour, this day, this chance. And once you start thinking like that, once you start living like that, your whole energy shifts. There's a reason so many people stay in the same place for years. They wait for conditions to be perfect before they act. They keep saying, "I'll do it when I have more time," or "when I feel more ready," or "when things calm down." But time keeps passing and nothing changes. And it's not because change isn't possible. It's because they never started with what they could do today. The most progress you'll ever make comes when you stop fighting reality and start fixing what's real. What's bothering you right now? What's unfinished? What's disorganized? What conversation needs to be had? What problem keeps showing up in your daily life? That's your target. Not the perfect job, not the dream vacation, not the big future plan. This, right here. Because once you fix that, you create order. You gain momentum. You prove to yourself that you're not helpless. You're capable. You don't need a huge goal to move forward. You need a clear direction, the clear win, the clear action. Something you can do right now without waiting for the stars to align. And the more you practice doing that, fixing what's in your control, the more you grow. You become a person who solves problems instead of carrying them. You become someone who moves instead of complains. You build real confidence, because confidence doesn't come from theory. It comes from evidence, and evidence is built through action. So take a good, honest look at your life. What can you fix right now? Not next month. Not after you've rested. Not when someone else shows up to help. Now, maybe it's your morning routine. Maybe it's your diet. Maybe it's how you talk to yourself. Maybe it's the way you spend your free time. Whatever it is, don't ignore it. Don't wait. Fix it. Because when you fix one thing, you start to believe you can fix another. And that belief is the start of transformation. You stop feeling powerless. You stop feeling overwhelmed. You become the one who takes action, who takes control, who takes steps even when it's hard. That's what builds a strong life. Not just dreaming, but doing. You're not stuck. You're just scattered. Bring your focus back to what's in front of you. Clean up the mess that's blocking your path. Face the thing you've been avoiding. Make the hard choice you know you need to make. And once you do, everything changes. Not because the world changed, but because you did. One step, one decision at a time. That's how progress begins, and that's how it never stops. Number 8, listen deeply to your own needs and truth. If you want to live a life that's real, strong, and grounded, you must make the decision to listen deeply to your own needs and truth. Not the noise around you, not what other people expect from you, not what society says you should chase, but the truth that lives inside you, that quiet voice that tells you what actually matters to you. Because until you start listening to yourself, you will keep building a life that doesn't feel like yours. And nothing is more painful than succeeding at something that doesn't mean anything to you. We live in a world that pulls us in every direction. Social media, opinions, pressure, comparison, it's loud out there. Everyone has something to say about who you should be, what you should want, how you should live. And if you're not careful, you'll spend your whole life meeting everyone's expectations while slowly losing touch with your own. But your life is not a performance. It's not about being impressive. It's about being aligned. It's about being honest with yourself, even when that truth feels uncomfortable. Listening to your needs starts with slowing down. You can't hear your truth if you're always rushing. If your days are filled with noise, your clarity disappears. You have to create space, not just physically, but mentally. Sit with yourself. Disconnect from distraction. Ask real questions. What do I need right now? What's not working for me anymore? Where am I pretending? These are not easy questions, but they will save you from years of living the wrong life. And your needs are not weaknesses. They're signals. Needing rest, space, honesty, purpose. That's not selfish. That's human. But most people are so used to ignoring what they need that they confuse burnout for hard work. They confuse people-pleasing for kindness. They confuse silence for peace. But just because something looks good on the outside doesn't mean it feels right on the inside. You have to be willing to admit what's not working, even if you've convinced the world that everything's fine. The most powerful thing you can do is be real with yourself. Drop the image, drop the expectations, get honest. Because when you deny your truth, you live with quiet frustration. You feel drained for no reason. You lose your spark. You stay in places, routines, relationships, and roles that take more from you than they give. And eventually you forget who you were before the world told you who to be. Listening deeply means asking yourself, what do I truly want? And more importantly, what have I been pretending not to want because I'm scared it might make others uncomfortable? That's where growth begins. When you face the truth you've been avoiding, you might discover that you've been saying yes when you wanted to say no, that you've been pushing through when your body needed rest, that you've been chasing goals that don't even belong to you. And that awareness is not failure. That awareness is freedom. You are allowed to change your mind. You are allowed to need something different now than you did 5 years ago. You are allowed to say, this no longer fits who I am. Yos isn't about being consistent with your past. It's about being honest in your present. And the more you listen to your needs, the more your life will reflect who you really are, not who you're trying to be for others. Start noticing how your body responds to different situations. You don't need a perfect plan to understand your truth. Just pay attention. Where do you feel light? Where do you feel heavy? Who drains you? Who inspires you? What makes time disappear? What makes you dread waking up? These are signs. Your emotions are messages. Your discomfort is guidance, and your truth is trying to speak. If you'll slow down long enough to listen, this world will keep rewarding your ability to stay busy, to look strong, to appear fine. But your soul doesn't care about appearances. Your peace doesn't come from approval. It comes from alignment. And alignment starts when you stop ignoring yourself. When you stop saying, I'm fine, just to keep the peace. When you stop pretending everything's okay because you don't want to disappoint someone else. Your truth is not here to make everyone comfortable. It's here to make you free. You don't have to scream it. You don't have to explain it to everyone. But you do have to live it. Quietly, boldly, honestly. And that takes courage. It takes courage to admit that something is no longer serving you. It takes strength to step away from a path that looks good but feels wrong. It takes belief to build a life that's true to who you are, even if it doesn't make sense to anyone else. Listening to yourself also means respecting your boundaries. Not every opportunity is meant for you. Not every connection is healthy. Not every voice deserves space in your mind. You are not here to be everything to everyone. You are here to be yourself, fully, deeply, and without apology. And the more you listen, the more you'll realize that your intuition is smarter than you thought. It will tell you when to leave, when to stay, when to pause, when to speak. You just have to stop drowning it out with noise and distraction. You've been taught to look outside for answers, to follow trends, to chase what's popular. But your path is not out there. It's in you, and no one can walk it for you. No one else knows what you need at the core. That's your job. That's your responsibility. That's your freedom. So take time today, not next week, not someday, and check in with yourself. Ask real questions. Give real answers. What do I need more of? What do I need less of? What am I pretending not to know? What truth have I been avoiding? Because it might require change. And don't rush through those answers. Sit with them. Let them challenge you. Let them guide you. Let them lead you to something better. Because when you start honoring your truth, everything changes. You make decisions that support your well-being. You attract people who respect your boundaries. You choose paths that energize you instead of depleting you. And most importantly, you stop living for applause and start living for peace. That's real success. That's a life that matters. You already have the answers. You already know what needs to shift. It's not about finding yourself. It's about hearing yourself. Trust that voice inside you. Follow that feeling. Honor that truth. Because no dream, no goal, no plan will ever matter if it costs you your inner peace. Listen closely. Choose wisely. Live honestly. That's how you build a life that actually feels good, not just looks good. Number 9, track your progress to stay honest with yourself. If you want real results, real change, and real growth, then you need to track your progress to stay honest with yourself. You can't lie to yourself when the numbers are in front of you. You can't pretend you're doing the work when your results say otherwise. And you can't grow without facing the truth of where you actually stand. That's why tracking your progress isn't optional. It's essential. It forces clarity. It builds accountability. And most of all, it tells you the truth that excuses always try to cover up. Most people don't change because they never measure what matters. They say they want to improve. They say they want success. But they never keep track of whether they're doing the things that actually move them forward. They tell themselves they're trying. They say they're putting in effort. But effort without results isn't growth. And you'll never know if you're growing if you're not tracking. Vague goals lead to vague action. And vague action leads to disappointment. You can't afford that if you're serious about building something strong. Tracking gives you evidence. It lets you see if your choices are paying off. It doesn't care how motivated you felt last week. It doesn't care how much potential you have. It only reflects what actually happened. That's the power of it. It cuts through the emotion and shows you the facts. And sometimes, facing those facts is hard. Sometimes the numbers will show that you've been lazy, inconsistent, or distracted. That's not failure, that's awareness. And awareness is what gives you the power to change. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be honest. And honesty starts when you look at your progress. Not just how you feel, but what you've done. Because feelings lie. Motivation fades. But progress tells the truth. Did you follow through? Did you stay consistent? Did you do what you said you would? These are questions that tracking answers for you every single day. If you don't know where you are, how can you get where you want to go? Tracking creates a map. It tells you if you're on the right path or if you need to adjust. Without it, you're guessing. And guessing is not a strategy. You can't grow on guesswork. You need data. You need patterns. You need a clear picture of your actions and results. That's how you improve. That's how you win. This doesn't have to be complicated. You don't need a perfect system. You don't need fancy tools. You just need a notebook, a spreadsheet, or a simple checklist. Write down what you're doing. Write down how often you're doing it. Write down what's working and what's not. The goal is not to judge yourself. The goal is to hold yourself to a standard that actually reflects your potential. When you start tracking your progress, you build discipline. You learn how to show up even when it's hard. You stop relying on willpower and start relying on structure. You make your growth visible, and that visibility creates momentum. It makes you want to stay consistent. It makes you take pride in your work. It makes you realize that effort pays off, not just once, but over time. The truth is, most people give up not because they aren't capable, but because they can't see their progress. They don't realize how far they've come. They don't see the small wins. They don't notice the changes that are building up. But when you track your journey, you can look back and say, I did that. You can see proof. You can feel proud. You can stay motivated because you see that your effort is not being wasted. And tracking doesn't just show you what's working. It also shows you what's holding you back. It helps you spot patterns. Are you skipping certain tasks? Are you productive only on certain days? Are you the same mistakes? That kind of insight is gold. It lets you adjust quickly. It helps you break cycles. It helps you become more intentional with your time and energy. You don't have to track everything, but you do need to track what matters most to your growth. If you're building a skill, track your practice. If you're working on your health, track your food, your sleep, your workouts. If you're building a business, track your output, your outreach, your progress. Clarity builds consistency, and consistency builds results. You can't manage what you don't measure. That's a fact. And if you're not measuring, you're not managing. You're reacting. You're hoping things will get better. You're trusting time to fix things. But time doesn't fix what you don't take ownership of. And ownership begins when you face the numbers. When you track, you lead. You take control. You stop drifting and start directing. And remember, this is not about perfection. You will have bad days. You will miss goals. You will fall short. That's normal. What matters is what you do with that information. Do you quit or do you adjust? Tracking gives you the insight to make better choices tomorrow. It helps you learn from your missteps instead of repeating them. It makes failure a lesson instead of a setback. There's also a deeper benefit to tracking. It builds trust with yourself. Every time you record your actions, every time you face your progress, you're sending a message to your mind. I take this seriously. And when your mind knows that you're committed, it works with you, not against you. It helps you stay focused. It helps you resist distraction. It helps you protect your goals. You're not just tracking numbers. You're tracking commitment. You're tracking resilience. You're tracking growth. And when you can look at your week and say, I showed up, that's power. That's the kind of power that turns into momentum. That momentum becomes consistency. And that consistency becomes a life you're proud of. If you want to stay honest with yourself, start tracking. No more guessing. No more lying to yourself about how hard you're working. No more pretending that you're on the right track when you haven't even checked the path. You deserve to know the truth about your effort, your habits, and your growth. And once you know the truth, you have the power to do something about it. So today, make a decision. Choose one area of your life that matters to you and start tracking it. Keep it simple. Make it daily. Review it weekly. Adjust it as you grow. And keep going. Because this isn't about being perfect. It's about being responsible. And responsibility is what builds strong results, strong habits, and a strong life. Track your progress. Stay honest. Do the work. And let the truth of your actions speak louder than any excuse ever could. Number 10. Discipline your focus to stop chasing every trend. If you want to achieve lasting success, then you must learn to discipline your focus to stop chasing every trend. Every day, the world throws new distractions at you. New ideas, new opportunities, new ways to get ahead seem to pop up nonstop. It's easy to get excited and jump from one thing to the next, hoping the latest trend will be your breakthrough. But the truth is, jumping from trend to trend is the fastest way to waste your time, energy, and potential. Real success comes from steady focus, not constant distraction. Discipline is not about restriction or boring routines. It's about directing your energy to what truly matters. When you chase every shiny object, You scatter your focus and scatter your results. Your mind becomes noisy, your goals become unclear, your efforts become shallow. But when you discipline your focus, you create depth, you build strength. You become a master of your craft instead of a collector of unfinished projects. You must learn to say no, not just to distractions, but to the temptation of new trends that promise quick wins, but deliver little. Every time you say yes to a new trend, you say no to the work that's already in front of you. You say no to progress on what matters. You say no to your own growth. The cost is high. Lost time, lost momentum, and lost confidence. Discipline protects you from this cost. Focus is a muscle. The more you practice it, the stronger it becomes. You don't have to chase every opportunity. You don't have to know everything. You don't have to try every new strategy. Instead, choose a direction. Commit to it fully. Learn deeply. Improve constantly. That's how you turn potential into result. That's how you build something meaningful and lasting. The world wants you to be distracted. It wants your attention scattered. It wants you chasing after what's new instead of building what's real. Social media is designed to pull your focus away. Advertisements sell you the next big thing. Even well-meaning advice can confuse you with too many options. But discipline your mind to protect your focus like it's your most valuable asset. Because it is. This means creating clear boundaries around your attention. It means deciding in advance what you will and won't pursue. It means turning off notifications, limiting time on social media, and being ruthless with your schedule. The more you guard your focus, the less vulnerable you are to distractions that don't serve your goals. The less scattered you become, the more power you gain over your life. Remember, trends come and go. What works today might be useless tomorrow. But the skills you build by focusing deeply never lose value. Commitment, patience, and persistence. These are timeless. When you discipline your focus, you create a foundation that no trend can shake. You become the one who shapes the trends, instead of being shaped by them. You'll notice that when you stop chasing everything, your creativity improves, your problem solving sharpens, your confidence grows because you're proving to yourself that you can finish what you start. You stop being a collector of ideas and become a producer of results. That shift changes everything. It's natural to want to explore. It's natural to be curious. But curiosity must be balanced with discipline. You can explore without losing your way by scheduling time for learning, without letting it take over your doing. You can stay open to new ideas without abandoning your core focus. That balance is the secret to staying relevant without losing yourself. The hardest part is patience. Discipline means saying no to instant gratification. It means trusting the process, even when results are slow. It means being comfortable with consistency instead of excitement. But patience is a skill, and when you develop it, you'll realize that lasting success always requires time and focus. You also have to be honest with yourself. Are you chasing trends because you're avoiding hard work? Because you're scared to commit? Because you want quick validation? Facing that truth is uncomfortable but necessary. Discipline grows from self-awareness. When you know why you're tempted to chase every new thing, you can fight it with stronger purpose. Build a clear vision for what you want to achieve. Let that vision be your anchor. When a new trend comes along, ask yourself if it aligns with your vision or pulls you away from it. If it pulls you away, say no. If it aligns, explore it with intention, not impulse. This simple question keeps your focus sharp and your energy directed where it counts. You don't have to do it alone. Find mentors or peers who value discipline over distraction. Learn from those who have built success by focusing deeply. Surround yourself with people who encourage steady progress instead of chasing the next big thing. Community helps keep your focus strong. Your focus is your power. Every decision about where you put your attention shapes your future. Will you let it be scattered and wasted on fleeting trends, or will you protect it, discipline it, and use it to build something real? The choice is yours. But remember, discipline is not a limitation. It's the freedom to create the life you want without being pulled off course. Start today by identifying one area where you've been chasing trends instead of focusing. Commit to sticking with it. Cut out the noise. Turn off the distractions. Build a routine that supports deep work and consistency. Watch how your results improve when your focus is disciplined and deliberate. Success is not a collection of quick wins. It's a marathon of steady, focused effort. Discipline your focus. Stop chasing every trend. Build depth. Build mastery. Build a life that lasts.